If you want to build a $10 million Amazon brand, you're going to need to learn how to build and lead a $10 million team. Hey, this is Nate Slamans. I'm one of the co-founders of AmazingFreedom.com, where we have a portfolio of brands that does $15 million in sales. And this is part of our $10 million challenge, where this year we're going to be looking at trying to get to $10 million in our private label brand that we are building primarily on Amazon and through our Shopify website. And in this series, I'm going through things that we're doing in our own brand to lead our team, to get more products launched on Amazon and off Amazon, and just to do everything that we need to get to $10 million in sales, which seems like a lot of stuff. And that's why I want to share it in this video and help you on your journey to 7, 8 figures, whatever it is. So today I want to talk about leading and building a team on your way to get to 8 figures or to 7 figures, whatever it is. At some point, likely you're going to need to hire people. And in my experience, typically most brand owners wait too long to start hiring and getting people onto their team that are going to be needed in order to scale. So we talk about this in other videos, but by the time you hit 7 figures, you probably could get to 7 figures by yourself to $1 million sales mark. But once you try to get from $1 million to 5 million, or definitely 5 to 10, in my experience, it's very difficult to do that without help. If you're a brand owner, you're going to need things like customer service or just some admin work, whatever it is. You could outsource a lot of it. And I did want to start off by saying that even what I'm going to talk about today, you could outsource by having a partner do a lot of these activities, or you might hire your own CEO or COO at some point that does a lot of these. But for most of us, we're going to be actively participating in the brand, and this is something that we need to know to do ourselves. Okay, so number one in leading a $10 million brand, something I'm looking at this week as we come to the end of the first month of the first quarter of the year. I want to give a couple pieces of advice I've learned to be helpful in building our team up. And number one, that is creating quarterly themes. So if you aren't yet, I highly encourage you to create quarterly themes for your team, for your brand. So these are going to be 90-day themes, typically based on the calendar quarters of Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And you're going to set a theme for your brand, for your team that's internal, not necessarily an external thing that your customers are going to know, but your internal team to move the ball forward. And I like the football analogy in this scenario where you look at a 100-yard football field and the players need to move the ball forward down the field, get first downs, etc. We're in the middle of football playoffs right now as I record this. And so, the quarterly themes are designed to get you to those first downs, to move the ball down the field, because we know creating a business, creating a brand is not just typically a Hail Mary pass, although occasionally you hear of those Hail Mary stories. For most of us, it's going to be a slow march down the field where we need to get first downs, because most of us just don't have the energy or the talent or the ability to just throw a one pass and get to whatever your goal is within a couple months, right? Typically, it's going to be a monthly, yearly process, and the quarterly themes are going to help you get there. So what do? You need to set a theme, and then you need to set a core number that you're trying to accomplish. And what's best here, my advice would be that you really try to focus your core number that you're looking to achieve that quarter based on lead measures versus lag measures. I believe this comes from the 4 Disciplines of Execution book. I think that's the one that talks about this, the lead versus lag measures. And basically, you want to look at those inputs that are going to impact numbers. So instead of just setting a sales goal for the quarter, you might want to set something that you know is going to help get to your sales goal. And so, for example, you might determine that instead of just selling couple $100,000, let's say $500,000 for the quarter, you want to launch 3 new products that you know are going to add revenue to your bottom line or your top sales line. And that might be your theme, like a theme around launching products. We did that, in fact, in 2021. In one quarter, we had a theme of launching a certain number of products. And during that time period, we launched over 30 variations and SKUs in one quarter of Q2 2021. And so that helped us move towards our theme and moved the ball down the field, because now that set us up long term to have a lot of new products. So number one is to set up a quarterly theme and to use those lead measures versus lag measures for the core numbers. So again, maybe it's, I want to launch, our brand needs to launch 3 products this quarter, or 5, or we need to hire 3 new people this quarter in the marketing department. That could be another example. All right, number 2 is that you need to then have a rhythm to that theme. So the recommendation that I've read and that has worked well for us is every week to get together and review your theme with your team and to see how things are going. So we do that personally every Friday, but it could be any day of the week. It could be Monday, it could be Saturday. It doesn't matter. You just need to review your theme regularly. And when you set up those key numbers like number of products launched or number of team members added, you then need to have sub items that are called sometimes rocks or priorities. And that could be anywhere from 3 to 5 priorities for the quarter that are going to help you get to that major number for the theme. And so every Friday you want to look at that and you want to see your progress for the quarter to getting there. And so one tip I have on that is my recommendation would be to assign specific people to each rock or priority. Hopefully you have some team members that you can do that. If not, then it's going to be on you, or you're going to need to find the people during the quarter that are going to help you with that, or you're going to have the right outsource person, whatever it is. But it's best if you can assign someone specific to each priority so that every week they can give you that progress update. All right, and then number 3, my recommendation would be that once a month in the quarter, so 3 times, you're going to have a kind of major theme review with your team that is going to go over the progress of how things are going. So at the end of the first month of the quarter, you're going to do a major review and you're going to see the progress at the end of the second quarter. And then at the end of the third quarter, the quarter is going to be over, right? So at that point, you're going to review the entire quarter, see if your team hit the goal, celebrate if you did. If not, you're going to just evaluate that and see how you can do better next quarter. And then you're going to get ready to launch the next team, and it kind of starts all over again. But if you don't review your major theme and your major priorities at least once a month throughout the quarter, my experience, it's easy to just let the entire quarter go by and kind of at the end be like, man, we didn't get to it. But the problem is we didn't make any adjustments along the way. So you need to make adjustments. If you're not on track to hit your goals after the first 30 days, you need to make some changes. Maybe you don't have the right person reporting on the priorities. Maybe you don't have enough people. Maybe you're not getting the right resources out there. You're not focusing on the right places. So you need to evaluate all those things at the end of 30 days, 60 days, and then at the end of the quarter, you need to do a full quarter evaluation. So one thing that we did recently was that we took our COO, which is a team member of ours, and I put him in charge of the week-to-week meetings, because those can be difficult sometimes to do every single week. And so now he's going to be leading those most weeks. And then Andy, my partner, are going to be leading the monthly closes as a review. So that might be something that you set up right away, or that you work towards as you look at building your team and as you look to setting up some leaders who are going to help you lead that team. All right, so that's a quick look at something I'm personally working on in our $10 million brand. So again, as part of this $10 million challenge series, I want to bring to you just what we're actually doing in our business real time as we're doing it. So everything I talk about here is not some kind of theory. It's something that we really are personally doing in our brand, and that I feel is relevant to all Amazon sellers, all e-commerce sellers that want to hit that 7-8 figure mark and beyond, and just looking to better yourselves around brand building. Again, my name is Nate with Amazing Freedom. We own a portfolio of brands doing $15 million in sales. A lot of people fail when it comes to selling on Amazon, and we do not want you to be one of them. That's why we're making this $10 million challenge series. If you would like to get updates on future videos, hit that subscribe button below, or go ahead and leave a comment and let me know something else that you do as part of building your team, or if you are currently doing quarterly themes, something that's working or not working as you go through that. There's a lot of nuances and every team is different. So I know there's not a one size fits all approach to this. So I'm very curious to see how other brand owners are leading their teams or some of the challenges that you're having. So hit that like button, subscribe. If you want to be part of this $10 million challenge, make sure you become an Amazing Freedom Insider by going to amazingfreedom.com and signing up for that. And then you'll get access to our weekly newsletter and some of our free tools and all things around the $10 million challenge. Thanks.